Welcome to another episode of the Geek Out Room podcast. Don't forget you can watch our episodes over on our YouTube channel, Sauceless Entertainment, or you can listen to our episodes over on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Just type in Geek Out Room podcast and you should find us. Right now, we're talking about Fallout Season 2. I know the season ended a while ago. I had to do some catching up because we don't notice. There's a lot of stuff to watch these days, but I finally got through it. Let's talk about it. Episodes for Paradise Season 2 and Invincible and many other things are in the works. So look forward to that. But for right now, Fallout Season 2, spoilers ahead. Let's do it. So I wrote some notes for this one because I really wanted to get to the meat and bones of this. So season two for me felt a little flat compared to the other seasons. I say other seasons, but season one, right? Because when you introduce Vegas, when you introduce New Vegas, and you're, when you think of Vegas at all, you're thinking about all this lights, glamour, excitement, gambling, all this good stuff. And when you, if you've played the game, you know what to expect. This season felt like it was not drastically written worse than season one, but it felt like it lost its soul somewhere down the line. Now, I do think and the only positive I really have for this season, like the biggest positive I should say, because I enjoyed it, just not nearly as much season one. I think the ghoul was the best part of this season. Of season two. I think the ghoul's backstory, like really diving into that and following him and him interacting with Lucy in the beginning, then eventually Maximus, and then eventually Robert House and all that stuff. It was like this season was for him, about him, and by him. By the end of the day, Lucy is still the main character. And my biggest issue outside that one positive is that she felt so annoying this season. She felt she felt poorly written this season, if that makes sense. Like I feel like season 1 was about, hey, a fish out of water, you grew up in this environment, this bubble. Now you have to traverse this landscape you know nothing about and slowly get accustomed to what life is like outside the vault, and it will change her in different ways. And she's meeting companions along the way, and she's having to interact with stuff she's just not used to and have to survive and all this different things. And I feel like that's a great premise. I know you can't copy and paste that every season, but they copy and pasted the worst traits this season. Like I felt like they made Lucy a little too naive. Like I get again that she's adjusting and that she's this hope. But then the day, I feel like after everything she experienced in season one, she shouldn't have been this naive. Like as naive as they made her in season two in some ways when it comes to interacting with people out and about. And I get it, she didn't trust Ghoul completely, but I feel like there was a better way to write that dynamic and make her a little bit more competent and less naive. 'Cause I feel like some of the choices she made in season two just felt really flat and really dumb. So when it came to the end, when it came to the final like two episodes, I didn't care too much about Lucy and her dad. Like, I'm sorry, the ghoul story was so well. Like, I was more invested in that story than what was going on with Lucy and her father. Uh, um, and Lucy's father this season, honestly, I had gripes about him, but the character was so disturbing and so meticulous and so hell bent on his ideals and his goal that I actually liked that character quite a bit. I actually take back whatever I was thinking when I first watched it. Forget it. That character was awesome, and I thought from beginning to end of this season, it was a pretty intriguing character, and I really liked his character, to be honest. Um, but I didn't care about the dynamic as much. I didn't care as much about the dynamic or the resolution to the of the Lucy and her father story. I just felt like it just didn't feel, it didn't mesh well. And part of that is just because for the majority of the season, I just thought Lucy's character was really annoying and just not written as well. I didn't feel like there's any growth in her character from season one to season two to me. I now there should be from season two to three. There should be a huge difference in Lucy. She's been through some trauma. She's seen some stuff, and she feels the sense of responsibility on her shoulders now. So she should be different. But again, that's up to writing. How are they going to write her character? I do think they need to bring a stronger story for her and give her like something way stronger than they did this season. Um, I also want to talk about Maximus. Now, Maximus had a great, that episode about his backstory with his parents was super good. It was really good, well acted, well directed episode and moment. Um, but I feel like when it came to Maximus, I almost felt like they rushed his story a little too much. Maximus this season felt very similar to me how Finn from Star Wars felt when it came to Rey. That's it's the Maximus Lucy is is giving me the same energy that Finn had towards Rey, and that is not a compliment in the slightest. Not nearly, it's not as worse yet, but season three has potential to really copy a lot of beats from Finn's character and Finn's dynamic with Rey. And I'm hoping that Fallout doesn't go that direction. I'm really hoping it doesn't go that direction. But Maximus' story was pretty good. I thought he had so many he was second to the Ghoul to me in terms of um story and in terms of like I thought how cool, because for me it goes Maximus, or sorry, it goes Ghoul, Maximus, and Lucy's dad. I'm forgetting his name at the top of my head. And I feel like Maximus's time away from Lucy could have been could have been better. I thought the moment he had with oh, who was the character's name that oh man, the character that he, I'm so mad at myself, dude. I feel like I know the character and it's slipping. And let me see if I can get the character. I want to make sure I get this character's name right. It was the Paladin Xander Harkness. There we go. Paladin Xander Harkness. I thought that that episode with Paladin was really cool. I thought the dynamic between him and Maximus was really cool, and I thought that they played to where Maximus wanted to go. He's kind of directionless. He kind of doesn't know what he wants to do or what kind of man he wants to be in this world, especially after getting a different not kind of awakening in a certain sense after his interaction and journey with Lucy. So he is different. He's a different person. He's a different character in a sense. And I thought introducing Paladin and going on that little side quest where he interacted and fought and then almost like had to choose. He had that moment to choose between saving the kids and not, and that really defined who Maximus is as a person, as a character. And he goes and does his thing after that. But I thought that I would have liked him to stay all season with the Brotherhood. I felt like that whole thing could have been, I don't even want to say milked, but I feel like it could have been stretched properly to give him more moments. I feel like it got rushed a little too quickly to get him to Lucy. And I felt like since they were separated anyway, I would have rather them just been separated all season long and then joined and then found each other in season three, if that makes sense. Or make this, I know it's hard to make streaming seasons longer, but this is kind of what I mean. I feel like either have them come together in season three like beginning of season 3, or you stretch the season like 2 more episodes, let it breathe a little bit more, and then you can get him there at the season finale, like how they did this season. But because, and I say that because the moment the Maximus in New Vegas was better than any other character in New Vegas. I think his interaction with the townsfolk, his interaction with the creatures, his interaction with that slow mo shot of the sniper that saved him the last second. Like all these moments, the best moments in New Vegas were with Maximus. It's not even close. And that kind of slides into my next issue with this season is I felt like New Vegas was super small. Like not even just literally, but just in scale, in feeling, in vibe, and whatever you want to call it. I think this town should have been something. Again, it's loosely based off the game and the lore, but it's still its own thing. You just like the first season, they still made it its own thing while staying true to Fallout and some of the tropes. They still It's still an adaptation. Like you still can have creative liberties, and you should with this. And I think they really fell flat with New Vegas. I felt like New Vegas didn't feel any different from wherever Lucy's brother was. To be honest with you, this place didn't have that much character. The character or the feeling for New Vegas came from the flashbacks of the Ghoul story. To be honest with you, um, but the town felt small. It felt like there was like 10 people in there. That could be the case. That could be the case. I played the game so long ago, like so long ago, man. I think I was like 13 or 12 when the game came out. Like it was a long time ago. I haven't played it since then. So excuse me if I'm forgetting anything with the game or anything like that. But again, for adaptation, I felt like they could have done so much better, and I felt like there was a chance to really make it special, right? How the vaults are special. I feel like the towns could be a lot more special and could be, there's nothing really distinguishes town except from like the obvious Vegas signs and stuff like that, and a desert and blah blah blah. But it just didn't feel special. It didn't feel unique. It didn't feel fun or vibrant or even scary, or it just didn't feel like anything. It just felt bland to me personally. Um, Legion, Legion is actually before we talk about Legion, 'cause I think I want the Legion to be the last thing we talk about. I did not care about what happened in the vault. What was happening, the subplot about what's happening in the vaults, all that stuff they're doing, the votes, the like, all that stuff. I truly didn't care. I'm not gonna lie to you. It wasn't interesting. What happened with Lucy's brother was more interesting. Like that whole thing was more interesting than what was happening in the vault. The vault stuff felt like one of those things where again, it's a lot to juggle, y'all. Like they're juggling a lot of different things, a lot of different characters, and I'm sure they're all going to, if they write it correctly, all going to converge to into a head. And I understand that, but this is one of those seasons where you could have just not showed me what was going on. You could have had like maybe 1 or 2 moments in the vault and kind of really circle back to like what happened in the last month or whatever in the vaults and gave me a whole episode, a very well written and crafted episode about what happened in the vault or something like that. But the way they sprinkled the vault here and there and gave a lot of time to the vault in certain episodes, it just wasn't interesting. I just didn't care. I didn't care what was going on. It just felt out of place with the rest of the stuff that was going on. It just didn't feel exciting. It didn't feel fun. It felt like a fast forward moment to me. Um, that's just me personally though. Lastly, the Legion. Listen, man, the Legion, Legion. My biggest issue with the Legion is that they felt goofy. They felt like mad goofy, mad out of place. it didn't feel they didn't feel threatening. They didn't feel like a force to be reckoned with. They didn't feel like I should care. They felt like a comedy group. To be honest with you, like at the end, you see the shot of the Legion assembling and they're marching. I didn't feel like, oh man, the Legion's coming. Like, I don't know. It just felt so goofy and out of place. They just did it didn't feel like I should be scared, like this is a threat that the heroes are going to have to face, or the characters are going to have to face next season. Like, yes, because they're sheer numbers, they're terrifying, but they didn't feel like they couldn't be taken care of. They didn't feel like they were just overwhelming force, and they did some cool stuff or like weird stuff or whatever you want to call it, um, especially Torture Lucy, but like they did in a way where it just felt like they got so little time, and it felt like it was just so weird. It just felt so out of place. It didn't feel like they were a main force to be reckoned with. It felt like some throwaway group is what the Legion felt like this season, in my opinion. And I'm sure season 3, obviously, they're going to play a huge part and be a force. But again, that's some of those things where I'm giving the show grace, and I think they can correct these things. Everything I'm saying, I think those are 100% correctable. They just have to want to. Like, I think you need to make the Legion more of their. I'm not saying it has to be some super serious, gritty thing. I know what Fallout is. It's Fallout can be serious, have serious moral and ethical moments, and have its fun, but you have to balance it, and you have to decide what you want to make certain things. If the Legion is a threat, you need to show me. You need to show me I know I see the pikes, the bodies, but like I need to see them not feel so cartoonishly evil. What it reminded me of is like if you haven't seen the movie Mickey 17, um, it's a Robert Pattinson led film, and he's playing twins, and basically, Mark Ruffalo's in the film, and he plays the main villain in this film, and he is so cartoon, and when I mean cartoon, he is so cartoonishly mustache twirling villain, like it's like the 1970s or something, that it completely ruins. I really, because I think Mark Ruffalo's a fantastic actor actually, but that take on that character was so out of pocket. Like it was just so horrible. And that's what I mean. Like it takes you out. It takes you out of the immersion. And I feel like the Legion did that. I feel like they took me out of the immersion of Fallout. And they just didn't seem like they mattered. And I think in season 2, you can write some things, you can give them moments where it's like this is a threat. It's not just about sheer numbers. These people are psychotic, or these people are ruthless, or these people have a goal. Like, I don't know, just give it something to add some terror. Like to add something to it. Because season 2 I felt like made some weird comedic choices. I feel like they found weird spots to put comedy in when they didn't need to. And then the serious moments just the impact lessened a little bit because of these comedic moments that didn't really make sense. And sometimes I feel like they took themselves way too seriously. If that even is a thing, I think it's a thing. I think you can go way too far on both sides of the spectrum there. I think you can be a little too funny and goofy, and I think you can also be way too serious. And not saying that I insert jokes when I say way too serious, but I mean like the writing can be cringy. It can make these monologues feel really cartoonishly evil, and all these things. And it takes you out of the immersion because no one speaks this way, or no one. It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't vibe right. It doesn't sit right. So those are my reasons or my thinking behind why I personally didn't enjoy Fallout Season 2 nearly as much. I feel like Fallout Season 1 has a lot of rewatchability, a lot of rewatch value. Season 2 has its moments, but I wouldn't say I would ever revisit this season. Like this is one of those seasons in television where you're like, it was cool and it got us to better things ahead. Like for example, I think Invincible Season 2, I enjoyed it. But I think we're gonna look back on Invincible season 2 and be like, Invincible season 2 was cool, but it helped us get to some really good stuff at the end of the rainbow. if that makes sense. I feel like Fallout Season 2 is one of those ones we're going to remember. It's going to have some dope moments, but it's not going to have anything memorable enough where it's like, I want to truly keep on revisiting this season. It'll be one of those things like, remember season one's a classic. Oh man, you haven't seen Fallout, you need to watch Fallout. And season two will be like, this was dope. Wasn't my favorite, but at least it was necessary because it led us to X, Y, and Z in season 3, 4, or whatever. So that's my thoughts. Comment, subscribe, share. Let me know what you thought about Fallout Season 2. Have you even seen the Fallout series on Amazon? If you haven't, you really should. You do not have to had played the video game to have watched or to understand Fallout. You'll understand it perfectly well, and that's part of the reason why I love Fallout, because or shows like this. Like Arcane's another one that I know a lot of people want to review, and I will. But Fallout's one of those ones, man, where I think season one is really good. Season two was a letdown, but not by much. I think with a lot more care and some more time, because there was don't be wrong. I would like seasons to come out as soon as possible, obviously. But if they need more time to write better scripts, then by all means do so, because I don't want another season like this. I want it to elevate. Usually season three, I need a season of elevation, from the characters and from the writing. So hopefully we'll get that. So see you on the next one. Keep geeking out. Peace.